Hello everybody, welcome to the first video of gameplay for a new series I'm starting called Firewatch. There's a couple of things I wanted to preface here before we start. I am using Reshade. I haven't really covered it much on this channel yet. If people would like me to, I can do a full video just dedicated to Reshade, talking about things you can do and how it works, and what it does and what it doesn't do. Usually I use it in most games that I can, just so it can improve colors more to my liking. It's mostly a color adjuster. So I'm using it in this game. It's a little troublesome in this game. It doesn't want to run super well with it, but I think I've got it working here. Let me show you here. So I'm using version 5.0, or just 5.0. It's not the newest version, but sometimes older versions work better. It just depends on the game. Some games are fine and other games are really picky. I think it has to do a lot with what game engine that it's in. But anyway, if you are going to use Reshade, you should get version 5.0.0. If you search Google and look for Reshade repository or old versions, you'll find a listing where you can download it from the official developer. So do that. And the other thing related to that, I think in my configure tech or modding video, I mentioned that this game is running in like full screen borderless mode, and that in most cases you want to be running in full screen mode if you can. So there's a Steam launch option command for this game, -window, -mode altogether, and then space and exclusive. And if you do that, it will put the game into full screen exclusive. But if you want to use Reshade on top of that, you're going to have serious issues. So I recommend you pick one or the other. Do you want to use Reshade? If you don't, then use that launch option so you put the game in full screen. If you do, you won't be able to use that launch option. You'll end up having game crashes or freezes, which is what I had happen. So since I'm opting to use Reshade, just to adjust the colors more to my liking, I'm not using that full screen exclusive mode. And then the last thing I wanted to say was, I remember from the previous couple of times I've played this game, there's a scene in the game at the beginning, I believe, where you interact with a radio that's playing a song from it. And since I'm putting this up on YouTube, I gotta worry about copyright strikes and all that crap. So it's a song that plays that has lyrics, and I already have looked the song up and everything. And it is in this game's soundtrack, but it was made for the actual band's album that released the song. So it's a copyrighted song. So I was trying to decide how I wanted to handle the recording of that when I get to that point in the game. I don't really just want to edit the game out and cut it and do any of that. So I am going to attempt to just not speak at the time that that's occurring, and I'll edit out the game's audio after recording the video. So the scene will continue and you'll see it as normal. You just won't hear any audio for a bit until I can deal with the radio that's playing the song. So that's how I'm going to handle that when we get to it. Other than that, we're good to go. Start a new game. Little intro here. Yeah, Reshade is really awesome, but it's also a pain in the ass. It all depends on the game. Older games, you're more likely to have issues for sure. 1975. I wasn't even born yet. I was born in 1979. You see Julia. She's about your age, late 20s, laughing with well-dressed professors and grad students from nearby CU Boulder. You, Henry, are out drinking with your pals. You approach her. You are drunk. So what's your major? You're pretty. So yeah, you can pick options here. It doesn't really matter what you pick. Just do what you feel like picking. It's not going to affect anything in the game. I'm just going to say you're pretty. You are pretty, she says coolly. You are not. You are a future hangover. What, you reply? She's confused. Someone should buy you a cheeseburger, she says. She flags down a waiter, and 1 week later, you're Julia's boyfriend. Alright. So yeah, like I've said in my modding video, I'm using the 60 FOV option, and I'm using the mod to do that. I didn't do the registry edit. The registry edit happens regardless of whether you do it. That's what the mod is doing. It's just keeping you from having to do that. So yeah, I picked on that. And you will see things at the top of the screen load between transitions of the game sometimes, and that's just reshade, recalibrating itself and everything. Alright, use objects. Pick up bag. Triggers the elevator. Alright. So we get a compass. Notes and documents, we don't have any. And quick save. There's our compass. Yeah, we don't really have anything yet. Bed. It's over here. Just stuff. It's like a tire. Boxes, load gear. Nice. You date for over a year. She drives you absolutely nuts. It's great. You move in, you share an apartment near the school with a view of the mountains. You two drink beers out on the deck. You drink beer just about anywhere. Life is good. Julia wants to get a dog. There's a scruffy, undersized beagle. Julia is in love. She wants to bring it with her to class. There's also an intimidating but gentle-eyed German shepherd. Nothing bad could happen to Julia while walking this dog. It's badass. Pick up the beagle and she names him Bucket. You adopt the shepherd and name him Mayhem. Let's get the shepherd. Mayhem's an excellent dog. He loves wrestling with you in the park and goes with Julia on her runs. Even though he's too big to bring to school, Julia loves him all the same. Mayhem is a friend, child, and pet, all rolled into one. 1979. You talk out on the deck. It's summer, 9:30 p.m., and the heat still radiates off of the high desert. What do you think about kids, she asks. Kids. They're not very smart or good at much. I'm saying if you all, I have some. I'm saying if you and I have some, a couple little idiots. That would be pretty good. One day, why rush? Just say one day. She looks away out towards the mountains. We have plenty of time, right? Speak for yourself, mister. Don't worry, assure her. You tell her she has the body of an undergrad. My ovaries didn't get the memo, she says, laughing it off. One day, okay. Okay, one day, she says. 6 months later, you get engaged, lying in bed on a Sunday morning. There's a little load there, the reshade. Alright. guess we got our bag. Yeah. Okay, right. So if you hold the right mouse button, then you'll zoom in on it, so you can see exactly where you're going. So that would be north over there. This is where I was at for the modding video. I didn't go too far. Just loaded in here so I could test. And if you hold the right mouse button with nothing in your hands, then you'll just zoom your view. Fire danger is really high, off the scale actually, today. Prevent forest fires. Presumably that's the way we came. And this is a game where you want to run, you don't have to hold it to keep running, you just press it once and you keep going until you let go of your movement controls, and then he'll stop running on his own. Or if you tap the run button again, it'll stop. But I usually prefer to just have to hold the button to run. I guess I'm just used to that, but toggle's nice sometimes. And a lot of games will have the same option for crouching. Toggle crouch or hold it. You can't jump in this game or crouch. You can climb, sort of. But, yeah. So we can't go back in our truck. Just gonna leave it here, I guess. Thoroughfare Trailhead. Do not forget to check in. No fireworks. You're in their country. Learn to live with bears. Thoroughfare Trail is not recommended for inexperienced hikers. Thoroughfare is a primitive backcountry trail. Two Forks region. So this game takes place in Wyoming, a state in America. And the forest is the Shoshone National Forest. Shoshone. I think it's how you spell it. And it is a real place that exists. It's actually right on the outside of Cody, C-O-D-Y, Wyoming, the city, Cody. As far as this Two Forks and the way this map looks, I think this is kind of where the game takes its liberties on real versus made up for the game. I don't think this area actually exists in there, per se, but the National Forest does, and everything, which is cool. Gives it some more backstory. So we are Jonesy Lake. No, I don't think we're quite there. We're around here somewhere. Can only go one way anyway. Don't worry, this is a game where hopefully it'll look bright enough for you, because it's not a horror game, but horror games tend to be the darkest types of games that you can play. And when you record videos and all the editing and excuse me, rendering and all that stuff that happens, by the time you get it up on YouTube, it's going to be a little darker anyway than what it looks like for you when you're playing it. That's just my experience and others gamers' experiences. So this will be a game where I increase the brightness like 5% overall, just to help it look better for you guys. 1980. It's a Thursday night and Julia is 4 hours late. She doesn't call. You're worried and getting angrier by the minute. She walks in after you've gone to bed. She's not quite drunk, but she's clearly been having a fun time. You fight when she gets between the sheets. You get mad or you ignore her. You just ignore her. You don't touch each other all night. The next day you feel guilty for being so angry and ask her about her evening. She says it was great. You hold on to a tiny pill of resentment. You make some coffee and you go to work. 1981. Julie still likes to draw. She draws plants from her research. She draws all the places you go. She draws you. You pose and flex like a He-Man. You frolic like a Victoria's Secret model. Yeah, let's go with the model. Julia was right, you are very pretty. Sorry about the reshade pop-ups there. This game has a lot of loading points and it tends to cause that part of the UI for reshade to load and flash real quick, which is really annoying. I wish the developer of reshade would let you hide or disable all pop-up notifications like that. And people have complained about it and he hasn't done it yet, so I don't think it'll ever happen. So you can see here with reshade on or off, this is with no reshade and this is with reshade. There's like this really bright blue tinge in this game for whatever reason. So reshade helps dull it out a little and make it look a little more natural, I think. That's mainly the reason I use reshade, just to help colors look a little better. Two Forks Lookout Tower, 8 more miles still. Spacebar to climb. It's actually my number 2 key on my keyboard. 1982. During the summers, you and Julia enjoy walking mayhem at night. There's a festival in town that brings in folks from far away places. One of them tries to mug you with a knife. Mayhem runs away. Okay. Julia yells. She gets flustered and has trouble speaking when she is stressed. You confront the attacker. You scare him away. You beat his face in. Scare him away. You reach into your pocket like you've got a gun and threaten to kill him. You manage to scare all 3 of you. He runs away. Julia asks to take a different path from that day forward. You say, okay. You don't want to go that way either. From then on, you walk by the river. 1984. Plans to have kids, gets waylaid by work. Julia gets offered a job at Yale. Yale is in Connecticut, 2,000 miles away. It's a great job, associate department chair. She wants to move. You absolutely do not. Convince her not to take the job. Agree if she commutes back and forth. That's a long drive, 2,000 miles. I'd say no. You tell her that this means you two won't have a family. She says that's bull. She's totally right. She asks if her taking the job means you won't come with her. You say yes again. Bull. But she decides not to take it. 1985. Julia is asked to leave Boulder on paid leave for having an episode. She lost it on a colleague for borrowing books that were important to her research. She didn't remember she had happily loaned them to him just 2 days prior. She was found crying in the stairwell. You say that maybe you guys should talk to someone about it. You make macaroni and drink wine and try to forget about it. Talk about it. After seeing multiple doctors and having many tests, they're worried that Julia might be suffering from early onset dementia. She is 41. You both decide to keep it a secret for now. Journal. Oh, nice. Yeah, I forgot about that. I have to blur that somehow, because even though it's a drawing, it'll probably make YouTube have a fit. Mayhem is getting older. He's got silver hair down his back and slows down at night. You and Julia walk into the bar to see your friends, and it feels like nothing has changed. Julia goes back to the university. 1987. Julia's affliction gets worse. She can't remember things in class. Her research is in shambles. She drives her car to the next town over for no particular reason and has to be brought home by the police. She is devastated. She is sent home on permanent medical leave. Damn. Some days you get the Julia who calls you a dope and your unborn children little idiots. Other days you get a stranger. She pulls you into bed to make love. After 5 minutes, she goes into a panic, believing her dad is at the door. You tell her family. They are crushed and begin to make trips to and from home, their home in Australia, to visit her. For a while, your friends come by with little things to brighten the day. She gets worse. 1988. You spend your days following Julia around the house. You count the seconds between the 2 weekly visits from Daniel, the nurse. He suggests that Julia could live somewhere else, somewhere with 24-hour care, a home. He sits with you for a couple of months. You decide to move her into a full-time care facility. You are determined to take care of her by yourself. Yeah, let's take care of her. We can see ourselves, we're heading east. No. Oh yeah, we're heading east, but north is over there. I don't think we don't have any kind of a map. So I got my notebook. Can't open it manually, I guess. Maybe once we take a note. Because there was stuff already written in it, obviously. Okay. Fog or something over there. It's kind of weird. Ooh. It is impossibly hard. The worst is when you get mad at her, like when she tries to cook her own food. She can't do anything without her, and you can't do anything without her, and she can't do anything without you. Sorry, stumbling over my words. When she goes too deep, you stay up for a few hours drinking on the deck. When she goes too deep, when she goes to sleep, watching baseball in the summer, college basketball in the winter, drinking then too. You start going out after you put her to bed. The first time you do it, you worry about her getting up and walking around while you're gone. You put a chair in front of the bedroom door. You trust that she sleeps like a rock. I don't want to lock her in there. You go to the same bar at the boring end of Pearl Street. It's nice there. Over time, you tell Sheila, the bartender, everything. It's a huge weight off. You're home and in bed by 1 a.m. a couple of nights a week. You look forward to those nights. 1989, one night, you are stopped at a DUI checkpoint. You blow up .10 and are taken to jail for the night. You consider trying to hide it, but you tell your sister-in-law, Susan. Julia's parents take the next plane from Australia. They can't believe the state your house is in. Then they tell you Julia is coming to live with them. You don't argue. You say you'll visit soon. A few weeks go by. Summer is coming and you see an ad in the paper for a job. you take it. There we go. Enter the lookout tower. Yeah, if I didn't mention, or you guys don't know, this game was made in Unity. It's got a certain color and style to it, you know, that's unique from a lot of games. Maybe not a lot, so much anymore, but spigot. That means like a water spout. I don't see it. It's apparently here somewhere. We'll look at it later whenever it's brighter outside. There is night and dark in this game, but it's not like necessarily there for a lookout. It's not necessarily something you can control, just certain points of the game transition from day to night. I've only got a few minutes here, so I'm just gonna burn the time a little by walking briefly around here before we go into the next video segment. Can't see anything right now. Can jump over this. Nothing really here, but... Alright. Oh, there's the spigot. Or maybe it's on the other side here. There it is. Okay. Good job. Just trying to stay close to this here. At some point you do get a camera, I remember, and you can take pictures. The film's limited in it, it's not limitless. But I think when you beat the game and the credits are going, I think it shows the pictures you took throughout the game. You could take like, I don't know, 10 or 12 pictures or something. So you notice cool little places, you know, in the game. You can just take a picture. And then, yeah, it'll show up like at the end. It's pretty cool. See, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. There's only about a minute or so left before we hit that 30-minute mark. And then we'll get into the game proper. Some games are going to take, you know, maybe a video or two before you really get into the game. And once you get here and reach the Firewatch tower, that's when the game will start up and really get going. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.